Picture the scenario for a second. It is 6:30 in the evening. You are just, well, utterly exhausted.
Oh, we've all been there.
Right. You've had a long day of making decisions, dealing with problems, and the thought of opening your fridge and cooking is just a mountain you cannot climb.
Yeah, you just want food to magically appear at your front door.
Exactly. You just want to push a button and make the hunger go away. But consider what happens when you have to navigate that entire process, the phone call, the delivery apps, in a language you are just beginning to learn.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that magical food delivery button suddenly feels like a high-stakes exam.
It really does. And that brings us to the core of today's deep dive. We are examining some really fascinating source material today. It's a comprehensive script designed for an English language learning audio lesson.
And the topic is a complete guide to ordering food delivery, right?
Yes, specifically focusing on a fictional scenario where a customer orders from a place called Tony's Pizza. Now, on the surface, it looks like a simple vocabulary lesson.
Just a basic phrase book.
Right, but our mission today is to look deeper. Hidden within this simple lesson are, well, deeply calculated teaching methods and complex cultural rules. So, as an English teacher, I thought it would be fun if we actually walked through this lesson together right now for you, the listener.
I love that idea. We can act it out and explain the phrases as we go.
Exactly. Now, the source material does something really interesting. It dictates that this Tony's Pizza dialogue must be played at two drastically different speeds. First, it is slowed down to an artificially slow 100 words per minute.
Which is much slower than natural conversation.
Right. And you might wonder, does slowing it down actually help? Or does it just make you rely on a robotic pace that doesn't exist in the real world?
Well, it's actually a neurological hack. Native speakers smash words together. The phrase "I would like to" becomes "I'd like Adita."
Just one big sound block.
Exactly. So playing it slowly at first helps the listener's brain isolate individual sounds. It lowers the cognitive load, you build the map slowly, and then you apply it to normal speed later.
That makes perfect sense. You have to install the software before you can run the program.
Yeah.
So let's install that software for you right now. We are going to read the core dialogue at that slower learning pace. I will be Emma, the customer, and you be Tom, the restaurant worker.
Sounds good. I am ready.
Ring, ring. Hello, I'd like to place a delivery order, please.
Sure. What can I get for you?
I'll take a large pepperoni pizza and an order of garlic bread.
Okay. Can I have your address?
15 Park Street, apartment 4B. How long will it take?
About 30 minutes. Your total is $22. Is that all?
Yes, that's all. Thank you.
Perfect. That was a great, clear interaction.
Yeah, so now let's unpack the 5 essential phrases from that dialogue. The source material doesn't just hand over dictionary definitions. It embeds unwritten social rules into the grammar.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's look at the first phrase. I said, I'd like to place a delivery order, please. The script explicitly warns learners not to say, I want.
Right, because saying "I want" to a service worker is, well, it's grammatically fine, but culturally abrasive.
It's just a little too harsh.
Yeah. Teaching "I'd like," which is short for "I would like," is about polite transactional English. It softens the interaction.
It maintains the illusion of a favor rather than a demand. So you could use this in real life by saying, I'd like to place an order for takeout, or I'd like a chicken burger, please.
Exactly. It works for anything.
Now, the second key phrase happens when you ask me, can I have your address? Or sometimes they ask, where are you located?
Right. And your answer was 15 Park Street, apartment 4B.
And this is where the source material completely blew my mind. It highlights a massive geographical syntax difference between English and, say, Chinese.
Oh, the zoom lens concept.
Yes. In English, giving an address is like using a zoom lens on a camera. You start tightly focused on the smallest detail, the literal door number, 15. Then you pull back to the street, Park Street. Then you pull back to the apartment number, then the city, then the state.
You start small and get big.
Exactly. But the Chinese system, as the source notes, operates on the exact opposite logic. It is macro to micro.
Right. You start with the country, then the province, the city, down to the specific building, and finally the door.
It's like a satellite view, zooming in. And getting that sequence backward in English, even if your pronunciation is perfect, will completely confuse a delivery driver.
It really will. So for our listeners, practicing that zoom lens is crucial. You might say, I am at 100 Main Street, apartment 2.
Perfect example. Okay, our third phrase is how you actually order the food. I said, I'll take a large pepperoni pizza.
Alt is such a natural conversational alternative to I will have.
It really is. You hear it everywhere. I'll take the fries, or I'll take a salad. It's casual, but still polite.
Yeah, it's a great tool to have.
So moving on to the fourth phrase, I asked, how long will it take? And this violently shifts the lesson from just language to economics and culture.
Oh, the delivery ecosystems. This part is fascinating.
It really is. We often assume food delivery is the same everywhere. But the source points out that in China, apps like Meituan are optimized for blistering speed, like 15 to 20 minutes.
Wow, that is fast.
Yeah. But in Western countries, 30 to 45 minutes is totally standard, and fees are higher.
And that logistical reality dictates the exact phrases you need to learn.
How so?
Well, in China, a driver usually has direct access to your physical door. They just call and say, I'm here. But in the West, drivers are often blocked by locked lobbies or security gates.
Oh, right. So they call and say, I'm outside the building.
Exactly. Which means you, the learner, have to know phrases like, I'll be right down. The logistics literally shape the language you need to survive the transaction.
That makes so much sense. If they always came to your door, you would never need to say, I'll be right down.
Right. And nowhere is that friction more evident than with payment and tipping.
Yes. The source material tackles tipping, which is a massive paradigm shift if you are coming from a culture where tipping is essentially non-existent.
In many Western countries, voluntarily handing extra money to the driver is a rigid social expectation.
It's part of their wage. If you don't know that cultural context, flawless pronunciation won't save you from a very awkward interaction at your door.
True fluency is understanding those invisible social rules.
Absolutely. Okay, our final key phrase. At the end of the call, you asked me, is that all? And I replied, yes, that's all.
The verbal handshake.
Yes. The social contract of a Western transaction requires a definitive closing mechanism. Without phrases like, that's all, or that's everything, the transaction just awkwardly bleeds out.
Silence is usually interpreted as confusing or even hostile. You need that tool to sever the interaction cleanly.
So those are our 5 phrases. I'd like to place an order. Can I have your address? I'll take. How long will it take? And is that all? But the source material doesn't just want you to know them. It wants you to practice them.
Right. Active recall is so important.
It is. So the lesson transitions the listener from passive consumption to active production with a repeat after me challenge.
And we're going to do that right now, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Listeners, I am going to say the 5 key phrases. After each one, I will leave a 2 to 3 second pause. You need to speak aloud in that silence.
Don't just think it. Actually move your mouth.
Yeah.
Build that audio muscle memory.
Exactly. Ready? Here is the first one. I'd like to place a delivery order.
Good. Now the second one. Can I have your address?
Great job. Number 3, I'll take the garlic bread.
Awesome. Here is number 4. How long will it take?
And the final phrase? Is that all?
Well done. That dead air is the most valuable real estate in language learning. It forces you to bridge the gap between understanding and speaking.
Because when you are standing in a lobby, hungry and tired, you don't have time to mentally translate a textbook. Muscle memory has to take over.
Absolutely.
And the source material takes it one step further at the very end. It issues a challenge for the comments section. It asks the listener, what food would you like to order today?
Which is brilliant, because up until then, you are just parroting the fictional character, Emma. You are borrowing her desire for pizza.
Right.
But asking what you want forces you to synthesize the vocabulary with your own genuine desires. You might say, I'd like to order a chicken burger and fries. You are using the language to express your own reality.
And the moment you use the language to get what you actually want, it becomes a permanent tool in your toolbox.
Exactly.
So, to summarize our journey today, we took a simple scenario ordering Tony's pizza and saw how it teaches essential phrases. I'd like to place an order. Can I have your address? I'll take. How long will it take? And is that all?
And we learned that understanding the cultural context, the zoom lens address format, the tipping expectations is what actually makes those words work.
Right. Language cannot be taught in a vacuum. Whether you are ordering pizza in a new country or mastering any new skill, the culture is the blueprint for how you use the tools.
You know, it makes you think. These language learning scripts are like tiny cultural time capsules.
How do you mean?
Well, they capture the exact logistical friction of our society right now. Think about 50 years from now. Automation might completely take over.
Oh, like autonomous drones dropping food directly onto our tables in 2 minutes.
Exactly. With zero human interaction and invisible digital payments. In that future, will phrases like, I'll be right down, or can I have your address become obsolete relics of the past.
That is a wild thought.
When the physical friction of delivery disappears, what new unimaginable friction will the English learning scripts of the future need to teach us? Something for you to mull over.
A perfect provocative thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive, and keep practicing those phrases.